arms on him. He's trying to get his arm over his head like, come on, man, what's that? Amazing. So we have a subject today. We have a subject all about Isa alayhi salam, also known in English as Jesus. So I'm going to ask the question, do we have anybody with us today that's Muslim? Raise your hands. All the Muslims, raise your hands. You just raise one or two, up to you, as many hands as you have. You gotta raise 3 hands. How'd you do that? Anyway, so if you're not Muslim, raise your hand. Not Muslim. How do you like being surrounded by all these terrorists? Was that out loud? Oh boy. So yeah. Well, slits don't count, and boys don't wear slits, so we'll just move right along. You want me to move over, get back on the camera, lean like that to get a chance to straighten it out? You got it, boss. Okay. Yeah. Move with me. Move with me. I love these camera guys. Alhamdulillah. So we're going to be talking about Jesus. And by the way, before we go any further, I want you to know that this is going to be coming from the Islamic point of view. We'll make some references to the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Psalms and the Quran and scriptures and things that people have said over the centuries. But all the way along, you've got to understand this is a masjid, also known as a mosque in English language. And we're Muslims, also known as Muslims in the Arabic language. And so the perspective is coming from that. We do have with us tonight, in a few minutes, we're going to have a chance when we come back from the break to interview someone who was born in Detroit, Michigan, and he is born into a Muslim family, converts to Islam, and he grew up as a Muslim in America. And he speaks pretty decent English, even though he's from up north. He'll be back with us. His name is Harun. So when we get back, we want to be sure and tune in. So if you have anybody in your family or anybody that you know on the internet and you would like them to know about our perspective of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him and his mother, then you sure want to tune in quick. So get on the FB. How many knows what's FB? Not funny bone. Facebook. Get on the Facebook and tell the folks to tune in. You can watch us on Facebook right now, GuideUS TV on Facebook. You can also watch us on the internet, www.guideuS.tv/live. And you can watch us on the apps. If you have an iPhone or a smartphone, it won't work on a dumb phone. You can watch us right there. I'm telling you, you guys are great. You're laughing at the worst of my jokes. I can't wait till I get to a good one. Anyhow, so also you can watch us on satellite. If you have Arabsat or the satellite that's in the opposite direction of Qibla, that particular one is where you'll be able to watch us. Galaxy 19, you can see us right there. And then if you happen to live in Manhattan, Los Angeles, or DFW, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, or Columbus, Ohio, you can watch us on the antennas on channels there. And I'm going to end with this section by telling you how to do that. In Los Angeles, you want to go to 35.2 on your broadcast antenna. Columbus, Ohio on 32.5. I don't remember the opposite of each other. 32.5. That's in Columbus, Ohio. And then in New York, you'll find us on 42.4. Did I do it right? That's in New York. 42.4. And then in Dallas and Fort Worth, we're on 26.1 and 28.2. All right. So that's what's up, and that's how to get a hold of us. Now remember, you're supposed to be telling everybody, send out your emails, text messages, and stuff on Facebook, and tell them, you don't want to miss this, they're going to be talking about Jesus, oh my God. Maybe not. Anyway, tune in and see. We'll be back right after these important messages here on GuideUS TV. Stay right there, and remember, get guided, with GuideUS TV. For those of you who are here in the audience with us right now, I'll let you understand that we are broadcasting live. This is a special event that we engineered for the brothers and sisters here in Tucson. And we weren't able to do it earlier today for our Jummah Salah, but we were able to pull it off with the cooperation of the folks here and our technicians. And I'm very proud of them for getting this together because it was really a rush. And the rain didn't help things along, but we were able to pull it off. And they're putting out some more chairs so that you guys sit over there holding the wall up. If you need to sit in a chair, they're putting something back there. But if you want to keep holding the wall up, there's no problem. You can stay there. Okay. No extra charge. Usually we charge extra for balcony seats, but this time, it's preferred seating, it's a premium. And some of the ladies, if you're not used to this, and why the men and women are separated, I know some of the ladies in Texas, when they found out that we separate men from women, she said, I don't have to sit with those smelly old guys. I like this deal. That worked out pretty good. I'll do that. But one of the things I found when I got here to Tucson, that there's a lot of questions that have been coming to the Muslims about different things. And I was surprised because, in Texas, we really don't, I guess we just don't have the same kind of questions over there. One of the things they were asking about today, they were asking us about how come that a man can have 4 wives and a woman can only have 1 husband. How many of you ever heard that one before? You heard that before? How many would really like to know the answer? How many don't really care? All right. Now, I've got our brother Harun with me. He's not only a great guy to work with and travel with, but he also happens to be the son of a dear friend of mine that lives in Medina. And I'll introduce him to you guys here, but in a few minutes I got to introduce him again on the air. Assalamu alaikum. And I want you to tell me, did you ever have anybody come up with that question to you?
Yes.
Somebody asked you, how come a man can have 4 wives, but a woman can only have 1 husband? What would you say? What comes in your mind right away?
There's a few things. Do you want the long version or the short version?
Well, what do you guys want, long version or short version? We got a real, this guy's a real guppy. He wants he wants both. Yeah, give me the short version after you give me the long one.
Okay, inshallah, we'll give it a try within that time.
Okay, time's up.
Excellent. First and foremost, alhamdulillah, salatu salam ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi. All praises to God, the one who created the heavens and the earth. And we give salah, prayers, and blessings. We send prayers and blessings on our beloved Prophet and his companions and those who follow him until the day of judgment afterwards. The issue of polygyny in Islam is...
Why polygyny? Why didn't you say polygamy?
Because polygamy works kind of both ways, where polygyny is strictly where the man has more than 1 wife. There are quite a few things that come into play. The first is that this is the practice of most of the prophets. This was the practice of Banu Israel. This was the practice of the Christians and the Jews before. When we read about David, and we read about Solomon, when we read about all of these different prophets, Jacob, we read about Abraham, and we find that this is not something that Islam invented. This is not something that Islam came with as something new. But Islam limited the amount of women a man is to have as a wife. That's number 1. Well, actually, that's number 2. Number 1 is because this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed for us to have. Now, when we talk about the commandments of God, all right, we're going back live, inshallah.
Sorry about that, but we got to back live. Next time, take the short version. How long? The answer's real quick, right? What woman would want another husband? And what is the guy going to do with 4 wives? You have to support them all. Alhamdulillah, Amin, and we are back, and you're watching GuideUS TV. We're live here in Tucson. They didn't tell me what happened to one son, but that's okay. I think he went back to Japan. Anyhow, we're all... Now they got pretty good. Well, we're in the break. I guess my jokes are so bad they said it's self-defense here. Let's laugh and get it over with. Anyhow, I wanted to introduce our special guest on our panel today with me on the subject of Jesus in Islam. We have with us Harun, Amin. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
It's good to have you with us.
Great to be here. Great to be
I
here.
wanted to kind of introduce you to the folks here. You were born in Detroit,
Yes.
and we don't hold that against you, by the way.
It's okay.
You can't help where you're born.
I don't hold Arizona being in existence. I guess.
Arizona's a good state to be from,
Yes, they have a lot of cactus here.
to be far from. Anyway, no, I'm just joking here. Don't get mad.
Well, I was flying in the airplane and I noticed that the population they need more people. A lot of people don't know that this place is here, so they must not live here.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't live here.
Yeah, most people in the world don't live here.
I noticed that.
Yeah, but
I told you he's from Detroit, right? And that explains a lot. Anyway, I'll come back to this. You were raised up in a Muslim household.
yes.
And did you ever hear anything about somebody named Jesus?
Oh yeah,
You did?
a lot.
A lot?
Yes, we heard the Islamic point of view.
Okay, is there an Islamic point of view about somebody named Jesus?
Yes, he's a prophet, he's a messenger. He's one of the best, the most favored messengers of God. As a matter of fact, the Arabic phrase of him is, of these 5 amazing messengers are Ulul Azmi min al-Rusul.
Whoa, go slow now, man. You're down here in the South. We don't talk that fast.
Ulul Azmi min
Ulu.
Ulul Azmi
Lazmi.
min
Rusul. Okay, got it. Thanks.
Almost, you almost got it.
Yeah, all right.
And these are the 5 of the most accomplished of the messengers.
So these are like the best people ever created.
The best of the best.
Okay.
And so he always held a high status, not just in my house, not just in my household, but in the households of all of Muslims all across the world.
Really?
Yes.
Even Sunni Muslims?
Even Sunni Muslims? Yes.
Even Sunni Muslims?
Even Muslims who sew a lot.
Even sewing Muslims?
Sewing Muslims, yes.
And Jihad Muslims?
Yes, everybody.
And all the Muslims?
All Muslims.
They all say the good things about Jesus.
Every last one of them. Except for the ones who are dead because they don't say anything anymore.
Did you read the contract when you came on? I did it too. Stay in your deal and I'll stay in mine. No, where are we? Oh, yeah.
They laugh at life.
That's exactly why you're not supposed to be telling them. All right, let's come back to this. The one that you heard about growing up, in the English language, we call him Jesus. But is that his name?
According to the Arabic language, his name is Isa.
What about the Hebrew language?
As far as I know, is Yusha
Yep, that's right.
or Yeshua.
Yeshua, that's right.
Yes. But I'm not fluent in
And the
Hebrew.
reason is because the Hebrew has some of the exact same letters as Arabic, but with a different diacritical one. So their seen becomes a sheen, and their sheen becomes a seen. So the reverse. If we say salam alaikum, they say shalom alaikum. Now you know.
So it's as if they're cousins.
Somebody might not argue with you on that one. Yeah, cousins is good. Anyway, so Yeshua or Isa, but none in Arabic it starts a little different because it's not a yah sound, it's a
Did you read the contract?
yeah.
leave the Arabic pronunciation to me.
I got news for you. In Texas, we have the letter iron.
I heard about it.
That's right.
Are you gonna do it?
Have you guys, anybody been to Texas?
You gonna do it?
Has anybody been to Texas? We have the letter iron in Texas. I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, and if you put a dot over it, it comes to a line.
Yes.
And that's your mama says, yes, I ain't do it. So don't come back there. We got them. I wonder when we're going to get the dust down. We don't have that one.
That's easy.
It is?
We'll talk about it another time.
Okay, we'll talk about that. But right now we're talking about Isa alayhi salam.
Yes, sir.
Why did I say alayhi salam?
Because this is something we hold all of our prophets at a high level,
High level,
high position.
high position.
So high that whenever we mention their names,
Yeah.
we send greetings upon them and we pray upon them. We ask for God to have mercy on them and to ascend them into the highest level of paradise.
And peace too.
And peace.
Right?
That's why he said it.
Yeah. Okay, so whenever we say the name of Jesus, we say peace and blessing be upon him.
Yes.
But in Arabic?
I didn't saw it sign.
Yeah. Okay, just checking that out. So, we have a very high opinion of Jesus. Do we think that Jesus made mistakes?
In terms of what?
Like did anything bad or anything like that?
No.
Okay, good. And so these people that we hold in this high esteem, we don't look at them as like sinners and bad guys and
No.
criminals or anything like that.
No. But we do look at them as human beings.
Humans,
Yes.
they eat
They drink
and they sleep.
and they make mistakes. Not sinning mistakes.
Oh,
Regular mistakes.
like what?
2,000 plus 2,000. One might say it's 1,500. That's not a sin.
It's not sin, it's not very good math, and I sure wouldn't want to do my income tax. But that's, I understand what you're saying. Okay. So now, I want to understand, as you grew up hearing about Jesus, did you ever hear anything about his mother?
Yes.
Really? What's her name?
Maryam or Mary. Don't ask me about the Hebrew version. I don't know.
Maryam.
Maryam. So it's the same thing in Arabic as it is in Hebrew. Wow. And we know that she was
Now,
a chaste
some
woman.
people say Maryam.
Maryam.
Maryam. Maryam and Maryam. I have a book of names,
Mm-hmm.
and you can find both.
Wow. I didn't know that. Does that
I didn't need it, I read the book.
Thank you.
So, did you hear good things about her?
Yes, I know that she was both in the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran. They both clearly state that she was a chaste woman.
Chase?
Yes, meaning she stayed away from men and she wasn't one to be in.
Compromise.
Yes, to kind of test the waters before marriage. That was her.
Mm.
She was absolutely
No.
chaste, absolutely pure.
Do you know anything about the Bible?
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Read it a few times.
You did?
Yes.
Did you ever read anything in the Bible that said she was the best woman ever created?
No.
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 But does it say something like that in the Quran?
Yes.
Can you tell me what it says in Arabic?
You want to read it? Recite it.
Can you do it?
Just like they do
From
it.
your memory?
What was that? In my memory.
Your memory?
I'll try.
Really?
Can I try?
Shall we let him try? All right, let's let him try. Go ahead. I'll read.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله اصطفى آدم ونوحا وإذ قالت الملائكة يا مريم إن الله اصطفاك وطهرك واصطفاك على نساء
what you read from?
No.
No, there's more. She has a whole chapter, and yet there's more even outside of that chapter?
Yes.
Where was that from?
It's from a chapter called The Family of Imran.
Al-Imran, chapter 3. You go by the numbers like me. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the name.
Okay. So in chapter 3 of the Quran, you have something there about Maryam.
Yes.
Can you tell us a rough English translation of me?
Roughly.
Rough it out.
When the angels told Maryam,
Angels came to
when the angels said
Angels said
to Maryam,
to Miriam,
O Mary, you have been chosen and purified and chosen above all of the women of the world. I mean, of all of the worlds. So she is the best of the best of the women. There's no woman better than her.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. High status.
Okay, go ahead.
Continue.
Yeah,
In English?
I hope. Or Detroit language.
You guys want Detroit language?
No, not really.
So cheer. This what happened, y'all.
Bring it.
يا مريم اقنتي لربك واسجدي واركعي مع الراكعين. Oh Mary, stay up late in worshiping your Lord while nobody else is there to watch, and prostrate your face on the floor and bow to your Lord with those who bow themselves for the sake of God. And that's the continuation of that verse there.
MashaAllah. All right, now I got more. Now we're getting kind of curious about this. Because you're telling me that the Quran has said something more than the Bible did about her status for the law, that she was purified and the best of all the women ever created by God.
Yes. The best of the best.
The best of the best.
She's the tip of the cream of the crop.
If I was a lady, I'd be getting kind of jealous right about there, huh?
Gotta try harder.
Yeah, try harder. Okay.
It's like Prophet Muhammad SAW. He's the best of the best. If you want to get closer to him, you just gotta try harder.
All right, I got you. All right, but now wait a minute. You said Muhammad is the best of the best, but what about his mother? Tell me about the mother of Muhammad. Now I want to hear about how great she was. Like what?
She was the mother of Muhammad SAW, and her name was Amina.
Yeah, was she the best of the ladies?
No.
No. Oh. Just a normal lady?
She was a normal lady.
Normal.
Yes.
Oh. So, what about his father?
He was a normal guy.
An old guy.
Normal guy.
Normal guy.
Yes. Normal guy. Yeah. He died at a young age. And
in fact, I guess he died before Muhammad was born,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Just a short time right before he was born, his father died, right?
Yes. He was on a business trip and on his way back, he couldn't make it back.
I went back to the outfit.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so his parents were just normal people.
Everybody, just about everybody around the Prophet Muhammad before, that was before him, they were all pretty much normal people.
Normal people.
Yeah.
Meaning, they did lots of bad stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let's not get into what they did
Okay, we
before.
won't get into that. Let's get into more about, I want to know about Jesus. This is about Jesus, not Muhammad anyway. I'm just curious about something there. All right, now talk to me about Jesus, alayhi salam. Yeah, that you said that he had his mother, which is pretty great and all. So did she know she was going to have somebody as special as Jesus? Was she ever told about that?
Not until it actually happened.
Oh, when it happened, what happened?
You see, she grew up as a normal person, and she really didn't expect anything like this to happen to her. As a matter of fact, she had this feeling that she was a special person already, because God says in the Quran, كُلَّمَا دَخَلَ عَلَيْهَا زَكَرِيَّا الْمِحْرَابَ وَجَدَ عِندَهَا رِزْقًا. Right? Whenever Zechariah came into the place where she was prayed, he would find that she would have fruits that didn't grow in Jerusalem. Didn't grow anywhere near Jerusalem. He would tell her, where did you get this from? she would say, "Wa min indillah." This is from God. Indeed, He provides whoever He wants without any account. So she already had this relationship, very close relationship with God. And this goes back to before she was born, where God says that the wife of Imran, her mother, wanted her son to be a caretaker of the mosque and devote his entire life to the mosque, or to the temple.
All right.
But
wait a minute, she didn't have a boy, she had a girl.
Yes. And so when she said, she realized it was a girl, she said, well, boys are not like girls, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway.
Dedicate
this girl to the temple.
I guess that caused a bit of disruption amongst the guys there, right?
Yeah. And they actually, well, we don't know the details of what happened first, but eventually they drew lots on to see who was going to take care of her. And her uncle was the one, Zechariah.
So the one we call Zachariah, you're saying is Zechariah, yeah?
Well, the one as in the Muslims call, well, in Arabic is Zechariah, and in English we call it Zechariah.
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 Oh, okay.
So
he's taking care of him.
So he's taking care of her.
Okay, then what happened?
Well, she grew up there, very devoted, very religious, very conservative. I mean, the best of, when I say the best of the best, it's just the best of the best.
Okay, but then what happened?
Well, God says in the Quran, وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ مَرْيَمَ إِذِ انْتَبَذَتْ مِنْ أَهْلِهَا مَكَانًا شَرْقِيًّا. And remember the book of Mary, the story of Mary, when she left her family and she went to a place far in the east. فَاتَّخَذَتْ مِن دُونِهِمْ حِجَابًا. And she separated herself in a way to cover herself up from the rest of the people.
So she was all alone?
She was all alone.
Okay, got it.
فأرسلنا إليها روحنا فتمثل لها بشرا سويا. So God sent to her His messenger.
An angel?
An angel.
Okay.
And he appeared to her as a human being.
Would that be like Gabriel?
That messenger was Gabriel.
So for sure?
For sure.
Okay, go ahead.
قالت إني أعوذ بالرحمن منك إن كنت تقيا. She said, I seek refuge in God from you if you are to fear God.
Wait a minute, she said to the angel?
She said that to the
I seek refuge with God from you.
Yeah.
So she thought he was a bad guy or something.
She thought he was just a normal guy.
What are you doing in here with me?
What are you doing here with me and I'm alone?
Oh, okay.
قال إنما أنا رسول ربك لأهب لك غلاما زكيا. He said, I'm just a messenger from your Lord to inform you the gift of a pure child. A pure child.
But she's not married.
She's not married.
Uh-oh.
But she's married.
But she's married.
Yes.
Let her explain first. Go back to the story.
قالت أنى يكون لي غلام ولم يمسسني بشر ولم أك بغيا. She said, how is it that I can have a baby boy, and no man has ever touched me, and I am not unchaste? Now listen to this.
Listen.
The same reason why we have the sun, we have the moon, we have the stars, we have the earth, we have the water. The same reason why Jesus was created.
Huh?
Listen to this.
I'm listening.
قال كذلك قال ربك That's the reason why we have all that stuff. Because it is a decree of our Lord. And he will make this boy a sign for people to believe that God can create without a father. Just like he created Adam without a mother or father. Just like he created Eve without a mother. That God can create without a father. Indeed, this is a sign. And he will be a mercy from God to the world. Indeed, this is something that was already pre-decreed. And it's happened. There's no way out.
Had to happen.
It had to happen.
So what I'm understanding from you, what I'm getting out of this is, from Muslim point of view, this comes from the Quran. Mary, peace be upon her, the best of all the women, purified by Allah, dedicated to the temple, goes off by herself, angel comes to her, in a disguise like a human. She seeks refuge with God from him. He said, wait a minute, I'm just an angel coming here to tell you the story, that you're going to have a baby boy that's the purest of mercy to the world, etc., etc. And then she's asking, how is that possible? When I have never been, with any guy and not going to be, not married, any of that. So how is that? And then, for your Lord, this is easy.
Absolutely.
Whenever he wills anything, he merely says,
Big.
kun,
Fair.
kun fayakun, be, and it is.
Yes.
So he didn't need anything to create Adam without a mother or a father.
Nope.
And he created Eve out of Adam with no mother.
Yep.
So for Allah, no big deal.
Yes.
But to us, a big deal.
Because we can't create anything.
So this is called an immaculate conception.
Yes.
So Muslims believe in the immaculate conception of Jesus
Yes.
in Mary.
Yes.
Okay, then what?
So she has the baby.
Okay, was it easy?
No.
No. Was there a manger and a donkey and 3 wise men and no room at the inn and the hay and all of it?
And a carpenter?
And a carpenter?
No, there was no carpenter.
No carpenter?
There was no donkey.
If there was a real carpenter, he could have built him a place at the inn. Hey. Anyway, tell me what we got.
She was there alone. Alone. Just like in the beginning. She was there alone.
By herself.
By herself.
The same way Adam was by himself.
Yes. And this is something that God uses in order for her to have another kind of defense.
A defense?
Yeah.
How?
Because she's going to come home with a baby.
Yeah.
No one's ever seen her there. Period. And so when this...
So if there was a guy hanging around, then it would be like, okay, that must be the father.
Exactly.
I got you. Go ahead.
So she was alone.
All right.
And there was a big palm tree there. And God says,
Quran said that.
فَحَمَلَتْهُ فَانْتَبَذَتْ بِهِ مَكَانًا قَصِيًّا. She carried him and she went to a place far away. فَأَجَاءَهَا الْمَخَاضُ إِلَى جِذْعِ النَّخْلَةِ. And that the pains of giving birth started to come when she was at the base. Yes. What are they called? Labor pains. The contractions. Contractions.
Okay.
When she started having these contractions, these labor pains, she was at the base of a date palm tree. And she said she had this feeling that from the pains, that she just wanted to die before this and just be forgotten. None of this would have happened to her. Right? So from underneath her, whether it was the baby itself or whether it was an angel, right from underneath her, there was a voice that said, don't grieve. Don't grieve. Indeed, your Lord has given you water right underneath you to drink from. Now, how many of you guys have seen a date palm tree? Raise your hands. Good.
That's in Arizona.
Now, I want you to think about this. this next thing that's about to happen. God tells her, and shake the date palm tree, and the dates are going to fall down.
Can you shake a date palm tree? I don't think so. Maybe with a 4x4, you can hit it hard enough.
So just like Moses split the sea, by the will of God, he had to put forth some action. Think about it. Did Moses really split the sea?
God did.
God did it.
Right.
Because, as a matter of fact, when Moses got across the sea, God, he's splashing the water, right? And God says, leave that ocean alone. They're already drowning. So leave that alone. You didn't split the sea, so you're not going to put it back. So here...
Well, you're saying, like, whenever they got to the other side, and they saw Pharaoh and his army coming, he's like, try to put it back again.
Yeah. But that didn't happen.
Oh.
It was God who opened the sea. And it was God who put the sea back.
All right, but let's go back to the date palm and Mary.
So Mary is shaking his date palm tree and the dates are falling down.
No, wait a minute. You
She just had a baby.
But how does a lady who's as weak as that, I mean, you have a baby, I know, because I've been there. And I've seen it, okay?
I used to be a baby. So
No.
it's true.
Say what?
Yeah, I was. It's difficult to believe, but I was.
That's amazing. If you don't mind, I'd like to get back to the story. Maybe Jesus, if you don't mind.
All right.
All right. Now, you said that she shook this date palm, and the dates came down, drank the water, ate the dates, and had the baby.
Had the baby.
Then drank the water and ate the dates.
Yes.
Good enough.
Now, mind you, this was not her that was shaking the date palm tree.
Okay.
But she had to put forth that effort as required by
Yeah,
God.
we got all that. Let's go to the part of, I want to get knowing more about Jesus and his son.
So she's coming back
All right.
to her people.
Here we go.
Right? She's got her strength back and she's ready to come back to her people, and she's coming back with a baby.
Yeah.
She did not run away from home.
Yeah, I want to see the look on her daddy's face.
She didn't run away from home.
No.
So she's coming back. Right? God says, after she drinks and eats, فَكُلِي وَاشْرَبِي وَقَرِّي عَيْنَا فَإِمَّا تَرَيِنَّ مِنَ الْبَشَرِ أَحَدًا فَقُولِي إِنِّي نَذَرْتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ صَوْمًا فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ إِنسِيًّا. Right? So God tells her, when you go back to your people, and you see people, you will be fasting in a fasting of speech.
Yeah, I heard of that. There's some people, you fasting from food, you can fast from speech, you can fast from watching television.
Yes. So she was fasting a fast of speech.
So she's not going to speak.
She's not allowed to speak, because this was a command of God.
Okay, so she's not going to speak.
Yes.
Well, that's a good way to defend yourself. Sign language.
Yes. So she comes into her to see her people, and the people see her with a baby. Whose baby is that?
And she's going like this.
Right away. يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرأ سوء وما كانت أمك بغيا. Right away, before they ask her anything, they're condemning her. You know how people are. Gossip. Right away.
People used to gossip.
People used to gossip. People still gossip. I don't know if you know
think
that.
so?
I know so.
Do people still gossip?
Nah.
Not here.
Not here, not
I'm sorry.
Not here in Tucson, no.
These are good
This
people.
yeah, then. Go ahead. Bring it.
So they're saying, oh, you who are a descendant of the prophet Aaron. Yes. So you're a descendant of this honorable prophet.
The family of Imran.
The family of Imran.
That's right.
Your father was not an evil man,
Okay.
and your mother was a chaste woman.
Yeah, so what are you doing with the kids?
So what are you doing with the baby? Shout out to you. She started pointing at the baby.
Like, ask the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said, well, how are we going to talk to a baby while he's still
A newborn baby.
newborn baby that's still in the cradle? So, what do you guys think happened? قال إني عبد الله. He said, I am a servant of Allah. I am a slave of God.
Who said
The
that?
baby.
The baby
The
said
brand new baby.
A brand new baby
Yes.
that's off.
Yes. And the baby's name wasn't who, by the way. You said, who said that? No, he didn't say
Jesus
that.
said that.
Yes, Isa said that.
Okay, I got
Jesus
it
said
right
that.
now.
Gotcha.
Who's on first? Never mind.
We'll get to that later.
All right, go ahead.
Inshallah ta'ala. So he said, I am a servant of Allah. I'm a slave of God. آتاني الكتاب وجعلني نبيا وجعلني مباركا أينما كنت وأوصاني بالصلاة والزكاة ما دمت حيا. I am the servant of God who has given me the book.
The book.
He's a baby with a book.
Did he have a physical book?
He didn't have a physical book.
He had the book where?
He had the book in his heart.
In the code.
Yes. And this is the first miracle. This is, you may say, the second miracle of Jesus.
Wait a minute, what's the first one?
He had help from his mother.
Oh, that's right. He was a miracle birth because he didn't have a father.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so second miracle.
The second miracle was him speaking.
Okay.
As a baby.
That's true.
And he has made me blessed wherever I be. And he gives me, and he has commanded me with prayer, salah,
Yeah.
and charity for as long as I live.
Can I interrupt?
You want to talk about salah?
Yeah. The word salah doesn't mean prayer. By the way, we say that, so many Muslims say that. The word salah better understood as connect with Almighty God. So he's saying that he has an excellent connection with God. That's a big blessing. Muslims try to make this 5 times a day, which is to connect ourselves with Almighty Allah, to ask and beg from Him, and ask from Him, and to worship Him. So go ahead.
Thank you.
Sorry.
You left one.
Go ahead.
وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي, and to be as perfect as I possibly can to my mother.
Oh, he was always good to his mother.
Always. Always.
All right.
وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا. He did not make me an arrogant, bad-doing kind of guy. He was actually the absolute opposite. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيَّ يَوْمَ وُلِدْتُ وَيَوْمَ أَمُوتُ وَيَوْمَ أُبْعَثُ حَيًّا. And peace be upon me on the day that I was born, and on the day that I will die, and the day that I will be resurrected on the day of judgment to be judged again. Or to be judged. When he is resurrected again.
He said all that.
He said all that.
As a baby.
And you know what God says right after that piece in the Quran? That is God. That's the Jesus. That's the Jesus that we know. That's the one who lived. Confirming that God was the witness of that.
Okay.
قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون. This is the truth that they disagree on. ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد. It is not befitting of the majesty of God to have a son. Glorify Him. If He decrees a matter, all He has to do is say be, and it happens. And it's going to happen.
So what you're saying is it negates that this is a biological offspring of Almighty God.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
No doubt in that. Is that what Muslims understand it? That he's a miracle, a creation of God, the best human being. He's going to do miracles. We didn't get into all the miracles he's going to do, but we have a break coming up. And when we get back from the break, then we can be talking about that. He's saying we got a break in about, what, 5 minutes? Yeah. So we can talk about that, but I want to kind of just do a recap here. From what you're saying, what you're reciting out of the Quran, it sounds, first of all, it might surprise a lot of people to know that Muslims do believe in marrying Jesus. That might be a big shock. And then to hear that it's in the Quran, it's beautiful by the way you recited that. That's very nice. You did all that from memory. There's no cue cards here, is there? I mean, the people at home, they don't know. Maybe we got a big cue card up there. No, he's doing that from memory. Amazing, yeah. So what I'm saying is that, okay, Muslims believe in somebody named Isa or Yeshua or Jesus. Miracle birth. but also that his mother's the best of women ever created by Almighty God. And that when she delivers, well, before she delivers, actually, it's decreed by God that she's going to have this baby. The angel comes to her, tells her about it. She wants to know how is this going to happen. And she's being told that the one who created the heavens, the earth, the moon, the sun, and the stars, the one who created everything, the one who created Adam without a mother, without a father, created his wife, his mate, from a bone of his own, created Eve with no mother.
Yes.
Pulled her out of Adam. So you got a woman with no father. Mother.
With no mother.
A woman with no mother. A man, Jesus, with no father. But you got the first man with no mother or father.
It must be a miracle.
That's all miracles to me. And then, the beautiful teaching that whenever God wants anything, He just says, be and it is. Boom. Fire. Well, that's a lot to chew on right there. But I bet you got a lot more, right?
There is a lot more.
A lot more? Well, I think that that's going to be a subject for us to come back to. We got a good wrap up there. Now, for those of you who are watching, and this might be your first time ever to see GuideUS TV, I want to just give you guys a little understanding about this, that we have been broadcasting now for next month will make 3 years. 3 years that we're broadcasting on the internet and the satellite, and now we're on the apps. You can watch us on the apps for your smartphones, not your dumb phones, but also on the iPhones, iPads, iPods, iPad. No, forget that one.
You know what you have to use?
What do you have to use?
Your eyeball.
You have to use your eyeball to... Wait a minute. Well, I don't know. Did you see that new place you can put stuff on that's called an Iraq?
It's a commercial for that.
That's a commercial for the Iraq.
Yes.
All right. Now, I see whenever you get in a hurry, Iran, well, then you know. Work that into the story in a little bit. We're going to take a break. We're going to be right back. Don't you go away. Stay right there. We've got more about Jesus in Islam coming up right here on GuideUS TV. And remember, with GuideUS TV. Okay, one of the things we've got to tell our audience, whenever we say remember, then you have to help us, and you say get guided with GuideUS TV. So, ready? Remember, get guided with GuideUS TV. I need you to be really loud because I got a big mouth and microphone, and we need you to really step up and back. Ready? Remember, get guided with GuideUS TV. How did they do? Yeah? Let's do it this way. Remember, get guided with GuideUS TV. Now see, I'll give you the mic. Okay, we're going to have the Adhan now, and then we'll have another half-hour broadcast, and then we'll do the Salah after that. Is that it? And we're going to have to do the Salah back a couple rows because it takes about an hour for him to pack all this stuff up, okay? And so we want to start immediately after we stop the broadcast. Everybody with me? No. You got something on there? Well, no, you know what? Let's do that. Wait 1 second. Let's do that because we have guests here. You guys need to know what we're saying. So I'd like for you, when you do the Adhan, take a breath in between each part and give me time to say what you said. We'll do that? All right. Is he going to... Well, wait a minute. Bring me back on first so I can tell him what we're doing. All right. Okay. This is really off center in case you didn't know it. It's so profound. It's mean to look like that. Never mind, let's go. I'll leave with this. 5, 4, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are live and we wanted to let everybody know that we're about to do something from here that we have not done from here before, and that is to have the one call to the prayer in the Arabic language. Then we'll give a quick translation after every phrase that he's doing so you can know what it is Muslims are saying when they call to the prayer.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
God is greatest, God is greatest.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
God is greatest, God is greatest.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
I bear witness, there's none to worship except God.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
I bear witness, there's none to worship except God.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
Bear witness, Muhammad is the messenger of God.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
Bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God.
حي على الصلاة.
Come quickly to the prayer.
حي على الصلاة.
Come quickly to the prayer.
حي على الفلاح.
Come quickly to success.
حي على الفلاح.
Come quickly to success.
الله أكبر، الله أكبر.
God is greatest, God is greatest.
لا إله إلا الله.
None to worship except Almighty God. And after that we say what means in English, Almighty God, you are the one for whom the prayer is about to be established. And we ask from you to exalt Almighty God, and then we ask for God to raise the status of Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, as he is promised. Alhamdulillah. Praise and blessing for our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. So, alhamdulillah, that we're back with you here now, and we're talking on the subject of Jesus in Islam. And to help me to better understand what's the take from the Muslims, this is in the English language, so we're working with somebody who speaks pretty good English. From Detroit, we have with us our Imam and Hafidh of the Quran, Imam Harun, Amin. Assalamu alaikum. Before we took the break, that we were asking about some of the miracles of Almighty Allah that He did at the time of Jesus or Isa alayhi salam, and wondered if you could elaborate on that a little bit. Did Jesus in fact have any miracles associated with him, and is it mentioned in Quran?
Absolutely.
If you enumerate those.
Now we mentioned two of them already.
You see it?
And,
Remind us.
well, the Immaculate Conception,
Oh yeah.
the speaking at birth.
Speaking of birth.
Now, Jesus grew up as a normal baby.
Yeah.
He was circumcised like the rest of the children.
Okay.
He used the bathroom. He
Wore diapers.
Didn't wear diapers.
They didn't wear diapers?
No. Huggies wasn't around back then.
Oh. Oh.
His mother probably hugged him. He grew up as a normal person, but a prophet from birth.
Is there any stories about when he was young that he did anything like make something out of clay or anything like that?
Well, not necessarily when he was young, but God says in the Quran, this was one of his miracles. This was something that he could do at the will of God. And
How does it go in there?
where the God tells Mary in another part of the Quran, the story of the family of Imran, where he says, وَيُكَلِّمُ النَّاسَ فِي الْمَهْدِ وَكَهْلًا وَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. So he is able to speak to people while he was still a baby, and he's among righteous. And in another part, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or God says, when he's mentioning about the story of Mary. So she says, in the other part of the Quran, قالت أن يكون لي ولد ولم يمسسني بشر قال كذلك الله يخلق ما يشاء إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون. How is it that I can have beget a son and no man has touched me? He responds, it is indeed the Lord makes whatever it is he wants, does whatever it is he wants. When he decrees matter, all he has to do is say, be, and it is. وَيُعَلِّمُهُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ. He will teach him the book. And he will teach him the wisdom from the book, how to apply them. وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ.
Okay, Torah meaning Old Testament.
Old Testament.
The Torah of the law of Moses.
Yes.
Okay, and what is Injil to us?
I'm thinking of the word, the gospel.
Exactly.
Yes.
And gospel means good news.
Yes.
So Injil is the good news.
Yes. So he's going to teach him the Torah.
Right.
Yes. And the Injil.
All right.
ويعلم التوراة والإنجيل ورسولا إلى بني إسرائيل. He will be a messenger exclusively for the children of Israel. أني قد جئتكم بآية من ربكم. Indeed, I have come to you as a sign of proof, because anybody can say I'm a messenger. But he's going to bring forth some proof in order for him to be able to prove to the people that he's indeed a messenger of God.
So he's coming as a messenger to the children of Israel.
Yes.
And he's telling them he can give them proof.
Yes.
A miracle.
أني أخلق لكم من الطين كهيئة الطير فأنفخ فيه فيكون خيرا بإذن الله.
Wait a minute, what is that? What does that mean?
Look.
Oh man.
Indeed, I make with my hands something that looks or resembles a bird. And I blow it, and it turns.
So that's, yeah.
I blow it, and it turns into an actual bird by the will of God.
So you're saying that he could do that, and he did that for them?
By the will of God. Once again, let's go back to the splitting the sea. Now let's go back
Moses split the sea?
Yes.
Or God split it?
Moses put his stick down as he was commanded by God. Jesus formed a bird-looking thing from clay. Yes.
All right.
But it's the will of God. It was God who created the bird.
All right.
From nothing. Just like Jesus was born without a father. The bird was born without a father.
He's blowing them. Okay, go ahead.
وأبرئ الأكمه والأبرص وأحيي الموتى بإذن الله. I heal the blind and the leper.
Okay.
And I bring back from the dead by the will of God.
Now hold on. Can I interrupt you? All right. Now listen. My years of studying the Injil, the Bible, the New Testament especially, and trying to get what I could from the Koine Greek, I find from the manuscripts it refers to Jesus peace be upon him, having some miracles here. It clearly says that that first miracle, I think, is that they were at a wedding and they ran out of wine. And then he took the water vases, those big jars, and he turned it into wine, and people that drank it said, well, why is it you saved the best wine for the end of the wedding? Most people go the other way, at the end of the wedding you're drunk anyway, and they didn't say about that, but, you get the idea. Said, but you give the best wine at the end. So it said he made the best wine at their wedding. Do you have that in Islam?
No.
No wine?
No wine. Is it befitting for a prophet and a messenger to drink?
Well, maybe it was just like strong grape juice.
Could have been strong grape juice. Is it befitting for a prophet or a messenger to drink alcohol?
I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it may intimidate me. So, anyway, we'll come back to this. So we don't have that in Islam about making wine or having a few sips here or there. All right, well, let's skip that over. But I did see that there were some other things, like you mentioned the curing of the leper. Somebody came and was leper, and another person was what do you call it, invalid, crippled. He was crippled, but then he could walk. He couldn't walk before, but then he could walk.
Yes.
A leper's skin was cured up.
Yes.
Yeah? And then Lazarus, you mentioned Lazarus by name, is dead in the grave, like 4 days, something like that. And then he came, stretched himself out over him, and then he came back to life.
Yes. Well, there's one more.
One more what?
That's mentioned in the Quran.
What?
And I can inform you what you eat and what you do in your house without me even being there.
Wait a minute, you're saying that it says in the Quran that he could tell people what they ate
Yeah.
and what they have stored up in their house, and he never even been in their house? But he could do all of that? Well, doesn't that make him kind of like a god or something?
You know what he says right after that?
What?
Indeed, that is a sign for you to know that God exists, if you are true believers.
So that's a sign for them to know God exists and not just try to say that he's the God.
Speaking of that, what do we have to say about that in Islam? We're jumping the gun a little bit because before we talk about that, I think there's a very important part to talk about, which is what we think about the crucifix.
We didn't even get to that yet. I'm still over here. Wait a minute, hold on.
Because all of that
That's the end of the story. I'm coming back to this. Hold on a second. We have something about that, huh?
But that, we don't believe any of that happened until after he left. So therefore, the story is...
But you're getting ahead of me. I'm still asking some questions.
Okay, ask questions.
Yeah, because see, I'm going back to the Bible.
Okay, if we go back to the Bible, then sure, why he was still there.
Okay, well, it was still there. We have in the Bible a clear statement of who he really came to.
The children of Israel. I don't know. I'm not a scholar.
Yeah, actually, he said, I only came to the lost sheep of the tribe of Israel. I found that. So I'm going to go with you on that part of it, because I did find that. That matches up exactly. And then he was asked about the greatest commandment. This is what I want to come to before we get anything else. The greatest commandment.
Is that to worship God alone?
Wait a minute. We have a great commandment in Islam.
Yes.
Can you tell me about Islam's greatest commandment that every prophet had?
La ilaha illallah.
Talk about it.
To worship, to acknowledge and to practice that there is no one and nothing worthy of worship except for God and God alone.
All right, now we got in the Old Testament, in the book of Leviticus, we got in the book of Exodus, we've got it throughout the Old Testament, and in the New Testament we'll come to that, but it's the greatest commandment, first and foremost, and I'm going to read you from chapter 20 of the book of Exodus. I'm the Lord your God that brought you out of the land of Egypt and the house of bondage. You know no other God beside me. Beside me there's no other God. Thou shalt not have any other gods beside me. That's first commandment. Second commandment, like it, thou shalt not make unto me any graven image of anything that walks upon the earth, swims in the sea beneath, or flies in the air above. No images, no statues, no idols.
Did you say that?
Again?
No, like you said.
You mean in Hebrew?
No,
Well, we don't have the original. Nobody knows what it was in the original.
really?
No.
So nobody has.
Well, we got translations. We know pretty much what it said.
Huh? Okay.
We have 5,500 manuscripts out there that are pretty much all alike in different languages and stuff. Yeah. We have Koine Greek, you got Hebrew, you got different versions of Hebrew. And
Did Jesus speak Aramaic?
well, yeah, but Moses is before Jesus, okay? I'm just talking about the Old Testament. Let's don't confuse me with the facts, okay? All right, let's move on now.
Okay. Listen.
Yeah.
Curious.
All right. Well, I want to take you to the book of Mark, because that's the second book of the New Testament. Mark chapter 12, verse 29. He's been asked what is the greatest commandment, and in the red letter edition, you'll find this is in red letters. Jesus, according to them anyway, said it, that to know, O Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord. And you have to worship him with all your heart and all your mind and all your strength. And some different translations have a little bit different wording, but that's pretty much it. And a commandment like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. And this is taken straight out of the Old Testament, it's in the books of Moses, word for word. So, there you go. So the greatest commandment in Islam and Christianity is to know that God is one, and you worship him or love him with all your strength of mind, heart, and soul.
Wow. So I understand that a lot of Christians believe that Jesus is God. So how does that fit in?
Everybody has different ideas. Not everybody has the same idea. Not all Christians agree on the same thing. Right? The church that I grew up in split over some of those kind of things back to about 1955 or so.
But how does that work in?
Sometimes it doesn't work. That's why they split.
So what is the common belief of the majority of the Christians throughout the world?
Okay, common belief is that there is a God. And he created everything. Then he created Adam and Eve and a bunch of people. And Moses and Abraham, David, Solomon. Pretty much that's all denominations agree on that. But when it comes to Jesus, they do have different opinions. Some say Jesus is, as you said, like a super prophet, a great guy. Others said no, he's the Son of God, and others said no, he is the God. And some said he's the God and the Spirit and the Son at the same time. And that's called Trinity. There's different opinions.
How does that commandment work with something like the Trinity?
I guess you'd have to ask somebody that understands it better than me. But you could talk to different people and hear different opinions. Yeah. But for now, I want to talk about what is Islam. We're talking about Jesus in Islam, not Jesus in Christianity. Right? Now let's come back to what we got. You ready?
Yes.
All right, so we got a commandment. That's what I want to focus on, the commandment of worshiping one God, one way.
Yes.
And that makes sense to me.
Yes.
And a lot of my viewers, they like it. I know because they tell me on Facebook and Twitter and stuff that they like what we're saying. It makes sense. But I want to now focus on, we talked about the miracles. I want to talk about how do people perceive him according to Islam. What does Islam say how the people perceive him? Did they like him? They didn't like him? Did they follow him? They didn't follow him? What happened? Did he have any supporters? If so, what do they call them? We call them disciples, but can you tell us about it?
Well, before then, speaking about the topic of the disciples that he had.
Disciples.
Yes. We know that he had 12 disciples and everybody following the Hawari.
So there was 12.
There were 12.
There really were.
There really were 12.
Okay. We agree. Go ahead.
And they asked him to make this one miracle.
Who did?
The Hawari
His companions?
disciples. Yes.
Disciples. They want a miracle.
They want a miracle.
What kind of miracle?
A dinner from heaven.
What?
Yes. They want a dinner from the sky.
A supper.
A supper. Ma'idatun min as-sama.
They wanted supper to come out of the sky.
Yes. So that it would become a holiday for the first of the followers of Jesus and the last of the followers of Jesus, and a sign from God. And so God says, I will do it. But if any of them are to turn back on their feet, meaning to go away after this major sign that they asked for comes, then I will send upon them a punishment that I have never punished anyone, and I will never punish anyone like him.
So after the miracle comes, we better not chow down and then act like you didn't do it. All right. So then what happened?
So pushing forward, address the other topic about what Muslims believe in.
Yeah, but did he send it down?
He sent it down.
He sent a table down.
Yes.
A supper.
That's up.
But he never sent another one?
No.
Would you call that the Last Supper?
The last supper. Yes.
All right. Is that the one that they're always talking about or no?
Yes.
It is?
Absolutely.
Are you sure? All right. Makes sense. Go ahead. So Muslims have the story of the Last Supper.
We do have the story of the last supper.
But it came from God.
It came from God.
And it was a big deal.
Yes.
All right.
So he says, قال الله إني منزلها عليكم فمن يكفر بعد منكم فإني أعذبه عذابا لا أعذبه أحدا من العالمين. إذ قال الله يا عيسى أأنت قلت للناس اتخذوني وأمي إلهي من دون الله. So the next verse says, Oh Jesus, God on the day of judgment will be asking Jesus, did you, mind you, God is judging Jesus.
All right.
Just like all of the rest of the humans.
All right.
Did you, oh Jesus, tell the people to worship me, meaning Jesus, and my mother as gods other than God himself? He will respond, glorify you. I don't have that right. If I would have said it, you would have known about it. You know what's inside of me. I don't know what's inside of me. Indeed, you know all the unseen. The only thing that I told them was to worship Allah, God, the only God, my Lord, meaning Jesus is Lord, and your Lord. And I would bear witness over them, over their actions. And I would bear witness over them worshiping God or not worshiping God for as long as I was with them. But when you took me away, you were the observer over them. And you can do anything you want. فلما توفيتني كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم وأنت على كل شيء شهيد. And you are the witnesser of everything.
And if you punish them.
So he said, you know what's inside of me, and I know what's inside of me.
I don't know.
And I don't know what's inside of me.
Yeah, I know that.
Right? So then he said, indeed, if you punish them, then you have absolutely every right because they're your slaves. They're your servants. That's what they were put here on earth for, to worship you. And if they don't do what they're supposed to, it's your right as their Lord to do whatever you want to do.
That's what he said. Now, that's the only intercession that we get from Jesus then, huh? That he tells them, okay, God, if you want to, go ahead and beat them up.
And if you want to forgive them, then you are to all forgive him most much.
He wants to forgive people, but it's still up to Allah. It's not going to be by any influence of anybody else. Well, I can take that. All right. I kind of see a lot of the similarities, and this is what I want to focus on. The similarities between what we have between Christianity and Islam. I realize there have to be differences. If there was no differences, then we would be Christians, or they would be Muslims, right? But what do we have that's in common? Well, we can say, yeah, we agree on that. But where we don't agree, where we disagree, will be over what subject. You already mentioned something about his God. The Trinity is he the same as is he himself the same thing as what he creates, etc. Whereas the Muslims are saying no, it's real simple. God created everything, and anything created is not God, and anything that is God is not created. Pretty much, yeah? And we got a bumper sticker about that, guys, and we're offering that to all of our folks at home. And if you'd like, you can order one of these real easy. You can write to us, contact, C-O-N-T-A-C-T, contact at GuideUS.TV, and we'll send one of them out to you. If you want, you can have it. It's free. I encourage, it says worship the Creator, not the creation. I forgot to mention the most important part. Sorry. Yeah, I encourage everybody to understand the meaning behind this, because if you understand that we're saying worship God, not what He created, but some of us were worshiping money, power, position, each other, or hero worship, things like that, and we want to be sure that we make it clear that that's not what Islam is all about. So we had a chance to learn a little bit about Jesus and Islam. I wanted to focus kind of like on a wrap-up right now, and then encourage all of you to keep watching GuideUS TV to find out more of what we agree on and disagree on with other religious groups, other faiths that are out there. If you'd like to know more, then we have a website called Bridge to Faith, and that helps all of us to get away from the disbelief, believing that the world has everything for us and that God has something better. Go to bridgetofaith.com and watch the videos we've got over about 20, 30 videos. You might enjoy those. And inshallah, God willing. Along the way, we know we're going to have questions, so we have a website for that called Just Ask Islam. Just ask. You want to ask any question, justaskislam.com. And for those of you who want to do your own research, well, we got one for you there too. It's called Shake Google or search for Islam.com. SATIKGOOGLE.com or search for Islam.com. So with that, we're going to wrap it up and let everybody know here in Tucson or Tucson, however you want to say it, that we had a great time being with all of you guys. And until we can be together again, may the good Lord take a liking to you and guide you always in the best of guidance. Amin. And remember, get guided with GuideUS TV. Assalamu alaikum. Clear? Okay, now what we're going to do is set up for the salah, which means we're going to have to move some of the chairs out of the way, guys. And along with that, we're going to also let everybody know if now we move, it's time to make a move. We can try to accommodate as much as we can